Today, I want to tell you something that I don't know that I believed for a long time, that your identity, it's not what you do. If you're a high performer, there's a pretty good chance that you don't like that sentence. I didn't like that sentence either, because for a long time, what I did was who I was. And honestly, it worked. Like many of you listening, I grew up being rewarded for performance of various types. Things like getting good grades when I was growing up, for being reliable, and for following through on my commitments. Those things got me recognized, and that got raises. I might have even got some promotions as a result. And I think back to another way, which was I was the one who people relied on to get things done when others wouldn't or couldn't. And over time, you learn pretty early that works for you. Hey, you don't just sit down one day and consciously decide, hey, this is who I'm going to be. It just sort of happens as you recognize how others reward your effort. Now, that wiring works incredibly well when you are an individual contributor. You can move fast and you get to take ownership. You step in, you carry weight. People trust you because, you've earned it. You've proven it to them. Now, I remember quite a few years ago when I moved into leadership, immediately things began to feel heavier for me. I became more impatient with progress and even results. Having to slow down to teach others was frustrating at first because it felt like wasted time. I got into that mode of thinking, hey, I could just do it faster myself, so why wouldn't I? And delegating, well, that felt risky. And that doubt, all of that doubt began to creep in. And I started thinking well, what if I delegate and they don't do it well? What will that say about me to my manager or my team if it doesn't go perfect? Maybe I should just do it myself. See, I'm thinking that maybe you can relate to this. Maybe you keep catching yourself stepping in and doing more rather than stepping back and letting others do it. But the worst part about that is you're working hard still. But the relief, it never seems to come. And you've probably told yourself for months, hey, it'll get easier when the next hire is made, or when this quarter is over, or when things finally calm down. If you're listening to this and thinking, yeah, that's me, well, then stay here with me, because this isn't about doing anything wrong. Most of what you're doing is exactly what used to work. Here's the part that new leaders, or many leaders, in fact, don't realize until it's already happening around them. People orient themselves around you. Your energy, it becomes the reference point. So what you react to quickly becomes what they feel pressure to react to. What you hold on to becomes the implicit standard, whether you say it out loud or not. And you shape your behavior simply by how you show up. So without even realizing it, the way that you move through your day starts to set the pace. And people don't push past what you model. They stop where you stop. And trust me on this, none of this means you're a bad leader. It means that the thing that made you successful is now asking to change. And that's uncomfortable, because when your sense of worth has always been tied to what you produce, letting go, it doesn't feel like growth. It feels like risk and even loss. It can feel like you're disappearing a little bit. You're fading into the background. So most high performers that I've been around, they push harder. You take on more, you stay in motion. And somewhere along the way, you start thinking things like, I should be able to handle this even as it gets heavier around you. Listen, if that's you, I don't think there's anything wrong with you. I think you're standing in a moment most people never actually name, a moment where what you do has been carrying more weight than it can hold. You don't need to fix that today. You don't need the answer just yet, but it might be worth noticing, because sometimes leadership doesn't break us. Sometimes it just exposes the places we've been leaning on without really realizing it. And that's where the real work begins.